Today, let's take a closer look at the cover design of Genocide Bad. This is a book that I was asked to write by Hannah Mushabek, a Palestinian editor and one of the owners of the only Palestinian-owned publishing company in the United States, Interlink Books. It's a collection of essays based on some of my TikTok content breaking down Israeli propaganda about their genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. Most authors don't have a whole ton of input into the cover design of their books, but I'm not most authors, and one of the first things I asked when I agreed to write this book for Hannah was, can my friend Ganzeer do the cover art? Ganzeer did the cover art of my last book, The Free People's Village, and it was his whole idea to have this dust jacket that would unfold into a full-size protest poster. Ganzeer also has a long history of making art that is literally revolutionary. During the 2011 Arab Spring, his mural in Cairo of this Egyptian tank facing down a bike delivery person became just an iconic, internationally recognized symbol of the Arab Spring. Following the revolution, Ganzeer continued making art critical of the Egyptian military that had taken over in the wake of the nonviolent revolutionary protests. And because of that, he actually was doxxed by the military. He was accused of being a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, falsely was, named an enemy of the state, and had to move to the United States. He wound up settling in Houston, which is where I first met him through mutual friends at Zine Fest Houston. Now, the cover of Genocide Bad doesn't fold out into a protest poster, but it has some really cool design elements that I want to highlight for y'all. Because of the way the orange and blue are really highly contrasting colors and the way that the text is semi-transparent, it creates an almost magic eye effect where if you sort of, unfocus your eyes a little bit, the text, the white text, pops out in like a three-dimensional optical illusion kind of way. If you can't see it on your screen, try turning up the brightness, but it has almost a 3D effect. And to me, this really, highlights the title and the theme of the book, which is that, just this simple idea that genocide is bad should rise above all of the bullshit that is spewed by Western media and Israeli Hasbara propaganda, trying to cloud the issue on this topic. I think the 3D effect is also really cool in highlighting one of the themes of the book, which is peering through all that bullshit to see the core of the issue around genocide, which is represented by the actual art that's in the background, which is illustrations of the warheads, the weaponry that are being deployed on the people of Gaza. And as you can see here, it's like a price sheet. So these are actual schematics of the weaponry being used in Gaza, and these are like actual prices attached to each of those weapons. So Ganzeer did that research and created this price sheet to be the basis of the book, because when we sort of peer through the sort of superficial layers of this genocide where people might claim that this is a religious thing, that this is about anti-Semitism. When you really look into genocides throughout history, you will see there's always a profit motive. There's a land grab. It's about wealth and greed for the people who are the architects, who are standing to profit the most from a genocide. So I think that the fact that the cover is doing both of those things, that it's got this 3D effect, is just so cool. I also think it was really smart of Ganzeer to break up the title in this way, because we've talked about the amount of suppression, of censorship, of just the G word, right? Like even saying the G word in this video, I'm going to have to go through and edit the subtitles, because if these, the screen readers, if the captions contain the G word, that can suppress a video in the algorithm. So by breaking it up like this, you can actually show the book on camera once you're holding it in your hands. And because the G word is broken up, hopefully it won't just flag censors just because of that. Ganzeer also used the same fonts from my last book to this one, just to kind of give them cohesion so they'll look nice together. And if hopefully he does more covers for me in the future, all the books will kind of look of a piece. For the paperback and the hardcover, you're going to see the design, the price sheet goes on to the front and the back. The hardcover, this is going to be the case. So underneath the dust jacket, you'll have this in blue as the case wrap, and then it's going to have orange sprayed edges and a bookmark. So the hardcover is going to be really lovely. I think this will look, really nice and bold with the orange sprayed edges on your shelf. And you'll notice it's not the same cover art, it's a totally different image on the interior case. Interlink is a really small publishing company, and they would love to be able to hire, internationally renowned artists like Ganzeer for every single book cover. But for this one, they just don't have that kind of funding. So for this one, I did a little bit of crowdfunding just within my own Patreon. I want to thank Laura and Jeff, who helped raise the money so that we could actually hire Ganzeer to do the cover art. Ganzeer is largely not so much active online these days, but at his website, you can order his memoir. He's a 2-part memoir called The Curse of I, where he talks about his experiences during and after the Egyptian Revolution as a street artist. I think it is like an incredibly relevant story right now, given that we're all sort of thinking about the Arab Spring again in the wake of the fall of Bashar al-Assad. He also has a serialized graphic novel called The Solar Grid that he's been working on for years, and the final installment of it is going to be coming out this year. So you can order all those zines on his website, ganzeer.com. And he has a really great Substack newsletter that I greatly enjoy. He does deep dives into art and culture and thinking about AI and art, and a really interesting recent essay on James Baldwin and the CIA. So I really highly recommend it, and I'll put the link to that Substack in my stories. In my link tree, you'll find a bunch of places where you can pre-order Genocide Bad. It's available across online retailers if you're in the US and Canada. And I've also got a link to independent bookstores all over the world that are stocking it and shipping it. There's at least one bookstore on there that is shipping anywhere in the world for people who want to order it. For the hardcover special edition, that one you can only order through Interlink Books. If you're international and you want to order the hardcover, email them at sales@interlinkbooks.com. And 10% of the profits off of the hardcover sales will go to the Middle East Children's Alliance, or MECCA. As for me, I'm over the moon about this cover design. I think it perfectly encapsulates the tones, the themes, the thrust of the book, and it is going to look absolutely stunning on bookstore displays when you walk in and you see this optical illusion 3D text Genocide Bad popping out at you. I think that's going to be really powerful, and I'm really grateful to my friend Ganzeer for once again just giving me a gorgeous book cover for one of my books.